In today's video, I'm going to be discussing Medicare for All and how some people are suggesting the urgency of getting this done as soon as possible. I have all the details for you right here in the video. Let's get into it and discuss what's going on. First off, thank you so much for liking and sharing this video with those buttons right down below. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, if you haven't done so yet, or if you happen to be new here, welcome. Thanks so much for watching. Will you please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well with the subscribe button right down below the video. Thank you. Truly do appreciate all of you here in the community and watching this video. We got to stick together right now. Things are changing very rapidly. It's a weird time. I think we can all probably agree with that. A lot of things are changing. Again, thank you so much for watching. Let's talk about Medicare for All. Now, this is certainly not a new concept. We've been hearing about this for years, mostly from Bernie Sanders, the senator, along with a bunch of his buddies out of Congress as well, that have been talking about Medicare for All or implementing some type of Medicare expansion. Now, as of right now, there's about 65 million people currently enrolled in Medicare. It's a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people that are becoming eligible for Medicare every single day as well. However, that does not include the entire population of the United States. In fact, the entire population of the United States, give or take a little bit, is about 334 million people as of right now, okay? 65 million, give or take a little bit, is, a lot of people, but it's still a small percentage of the total population in the United States. But these lawmakers, along with a bunch of other people, are suggesting we need to implement Medicare for All immediately, a single-payer program for insurance and healthcare coverages in the United States, just like a variety of other countries are already doing, right? They continue to say that healthcare in the United States continues to fall behind many of these other well-developed countries all across the globe. So anyway, I want to share with you a bunch of different dollar amounts, a bunch of different numbers, a bunch of different statistics here in this video. And again, I'm not going to sit here and take sides on this. Honestly, I don't really know enough about it to be like, well, yeah, we should do Medicare for All for sure, or no, we shouldn't do it at all. I can tell you this much. It'd be an absolute mess if we did it, okay? I can tell you this much. If they do it, it's going to take a very long time. It's going to cost trillions and trillions of dollars to do this if they were to do it. But basically, this is something that they want to. And I wouldn't be shocked at some point in the future to see this happen. But I don't think it's coming anytime soon. I'm just telling you that much right now, okay? But I wouldn't be shocked in the next, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I don't think 5 years realistically. I would say in the next 10 to 20 years, I would not be shocked one bit to see a Medicare for All type of program be right here in the United States. But I probably don't think it's coming before that, okay? That's just my honest opinion. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in 3 years we have Medicare for All. I highly doubt it, but we'll see what happens here, okay? Let me quickly share with you a bunch of dollar amounts and statistics behind this. Get this. A report that I was just reading on this was showing last year medical spending alone. This is nuts. These are big numbers we're talking about. Medical spending just in the United States last year alone was $4.8 trillion. That's massive, okay? That's a ridiculous amount of money, all right? That $4.8 trillion was an increase of 7.5% year over year. So the previous year, it was 7.5% less than that, okay? Whatever the math is on that, I did not run the math on it, but I could tell you, if I had a second to run the math on it. But anyway, last year went up by 7.5% up to $4.8 trillion, okay? Now, that's as of now. So as I film this video right now in 2024, that was for last year, 2023. We don't know what it's going to be so far this year because obviously the year's not over yet as I film this video, but this is what we know now. However, the projections are coming in and showing that by the year 2032, so what is that, 8 years from now? It's not even 8 years, it's 7.5 years from right now. They're projecting that total medical spending on an annualized basis in the United States is going to be $7.7 trillion. So that's an increase of, what is that, $2.9 trillion, if my math is right on that, right? Yeah, $2.9 trillion is how much they're expecting medical spending to go up in the next 7.5 years. That's nuts. That's, what is that? Is that like that's a 50% increase. Am I right on that? A 50% increase in the next 7.5 years? That's crazy, right? So this is a major situation that we're dealing with. Now, there's a lot of people out there suggesting that, these healthcare companies and all these different, providers and stuff like this, it's all corporate greed, right? Again, I'm not going to take sides on that. I don't know enough about that to say, yes, for sure it's corporate greed, or no, it's not. I don't know. I'm being honest with you. I don't know. I'm not the person to ask for that, okay? Everybody's going to have their own opinion about it. But here's the thing. regardless of how you cut it, that's a ton of money. $7.7 trillion a year just in medical spending. They're actually projecting this is going to be about 20% of total GDP, basically total, spending in the United States on an annualized basis. That's crazy, right? We're talking tons and tons and tons of money every single year. Now they want to replace all this with this whole Medicare for all. Now, again, the thing is too, like I said earlier, this would cause a massive headache. I mean, this would be a massive mess. Could you imagine what it would be like to have a Medicare for all system in the United States? I'm not saying it would be a bad thing. I'm just saying, do you recognize what that would be? Think about it now. How long does it take you to get into your doctor to see somebody? I mean, if you're going to a specialist, in some instances, you may be waiting months. I mean, like 3, 4, 5, 6 months because this one specialist doctor is booked out that long, okay? Just imagine if Medicare for all were a thing, and again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing, I'm just simply saying, if that's the case, if that were the case with that, these wait lists to see certain specialists and doctors and primary care and things like this, you can be waiting a long, long, long time, right? That's kind of the situation that we're dealing with. But anyway, this is the whole situation that they're talking about. And again, Bernie Sanders is one of the major advocates and one of the major kind of driving forces behind this. Again, no shocker at all. I mean, we've heard about Bernie Sanders. He's a person behind a lot of different things that are happening, and this is just another one out there. But remember this much as well. I've said this before in other videos, and I'm going to say it again really quickly, okay? They have this big, grand plan of Medicare for all. That's like the big plan that they want to do. However, I don't think it's happening for a very long time, but I do think there's a possibility of it happening at some point, because at some point they will just say, hey, we just have to do it because financially, monetarily, it makes the most sense to do this because we're spending so much money on healthcare. At some point, it'll get to that point. There will be a tipping point where it's like, it just financially makes a ton of sense. We're just hemorrhaging money left and right if we don't do this. So we kind of have to implement it, right? But at some point, that'll be in the future. But my point is, they've also talked about expanding Medicare, okay? This is another thing as well, where they've said, okay, if we can't get our Medicare for all plan, let's just expand Medicare to include other services like hearing, dental, and vision, right? This is something they've talked about and they want to do. However, they talked about this and they've implemented this whole like hearing, dental, and vision coverages into Medicare, but then again they come back and say, wow, dental is too expensive. We can't certainly do that. It would drain Medicare right away, and the program would be broke, right? Just imagine. Dental draining the program. Gee, what do you know? Just like all of our bank accounts, right? Have you ever been to a dentist? I mean, what do? They charge a ton for whatever they do, and then they're like, oh, here's 15 upsells, and you'll have to get this plan, and oh, by the way, you have 17 cavities over here. Oh, you'll need a root canal, and you'll need a bunch of crowns here. Why don't we just give you a diamond-plated grill, too, as long as we're at it, right? $300,000 later, you're walking out of the dental office, and you're like, look at that, I got myself a whole new mouth, right? Obviously, I'm exaggerating. But anyway, you get my point here, okay? So before they can even do any of this Medicare expansion, they're already talking about dropping dental from it, okay? So anyway, I've talked about that in greater detail in other videos, but these are some of the statistics that I want to share with you really quickly here because that's a ton of money. $4.8 trillion last year and $7.7 trillion in just 7.5 years from now, okay? So even if we were to add another 7.5% increase in healthcare cost or spend this year for 2024 on top of the 4.8 trillion, I should have ran the math before I started talking. Give me a second. It'd be about another $3 trillion. No, sorry, another $300 billion roughly. On top of that, if my math is correct on that, it looks like it'd go from about 4.8 trillion up to about 5.1 trillion, give or take a little bit. I'm trying to run the mental math as I talk, okay? I think that'd be about an extra $300 billion of output for medical spending this year in 2024. So when this report comes out again, after the turn of the year into 2025, and we see more statistics on this, I wouldn't be shocked to see total healthcare medical spending for 2024 kind of sitting right around that 5.1%. Again, it's a lot, right? If we increase at a pace of 7.5% like we did last year, if my math is correct on that as well, right? A lot of variables here, but you get the point behind this, okay? Anyway, I like to keep you updated on things like this because at the end of the day, maybe it would be good, maybe it wouldn't, I don't know. But again, here's one more thing I want to point out really quickly, and then I'm going to wrap this video up, which is Okay, right now, as a Medicare beneficiary, enrolled in Medicare Part B, what are you paying right now for the Medicare Part B premium? $174.70, unless you have, penalties and stuff like that. But in general, the primary premium is $174.70 a month for Medicare Part B. So my big question would be is, if they roll out Medicare for all, do Social Security beneficiaries and the people that are enrolled in Medicare Part B who are paying this $174.70 a month, does that get dropped? And it's no longer a premium to be, on the shoulders of Social Security beneficiaries? I don't know, right? I would have to assume that the answer would be yes. You would not have to pay that anymore, right? By the way, that you still have to pay it now. I'm just simply saying, in the future, with that premium for Medicare Part B, would it be dropped? Would you no longer have to pay that premium? My simple logic would think, yeah, you don't have to pay it anymore, right? But for some odd reason, I think, oh, you're probably still going to get stiffed with that money. And they're still probably going to come back and say, sorry, you still got to pay the premium, right? For some ridiculous reason, sorry, you still got to pay it, right? I don't know. It seems like once a fee, always a fee. Once a premium, always a premium, right? Once a tax, always a tax, right? Seems like these things never go away. Once you get that little thing, that little surcharge hitting somewhere, it seems like that sucker never goes away. Even though they say, oh, it's just temporary. Don't worry, it's just a temporary levy, right? I'm sorry, temporary levy never is temporary, right? I think we know better than that, right? So anyway, let's leave it at that for now. But I just want to bring this to your attention really quickly. I've been reading about it a little bit. I don't know. I find it to be a little fascinating. We'll have to see what holds in the future. But as of right now, no, Medicare for all is not happening yet. But at some point in the future, I wouldn't be shocked one bit. Anyway, does that help you out a little bit? Please leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. I'll do what I can to answer those for you. Otherwise, subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Like the video, share the video, thumbs up to the video down below as well. All free. Everything's free here on the channel. Always has been, always will be. Check out some of the other videos here on the channel, including the thousands in the video library, the ones I've hand-selected for you down below in the description at the top of the comment section, and right now popping up on your screen, you'll see some videos there as well. So check out one of those, and I'll see you again in just a minute in the next video.